we are in game number 2 to the top right. In the red starts our Startail Protoss. And, well, last time that we saw the Zerg starting to the bottom left in the blue on this map, he started with the Nidus network. The problem is, though, that I expect a lot of pylons or at least probes scouting the edges of the Protoss main base.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if he's so strange to me if he goes for it twice, but I mean, we already saw him 6-pull twice, so it's definitely not outside of the realm of possibility.
I love the build, by the way. I really like it. And the problem is, though, that's a build you can use for once on ladder. That's a build you can use to surprise an opponent that might not be able to, well, to identify your style. So when your name is not revealed, you can use the build. You can use the build in maybe a foreign tournament. And you can use the build every now and then when you show that you are also able to play a different style. Well,
yeah.
Life, of course, can, and he proved it in the past. But this is just something that after a while your opponents will figure out that you like to do this, and then it's definitely very risky to go for it again, because even though I'm sure he has a follow-up plan in case that his opponent is safe against Nidus networks, but it's still a little bit of a gamble, and you invest this gas, so yeah.
Yep. It's all true. We see Forge before Nexus, which doesn't seem to be his original plan. He decides to go for it as he sees no natural, and he already saw the pool go down. He's going to continue to block here with his probe. This time, I do not think he will make the mistake of allowing the hatchery to go down. Oh! Alright, well, his probe's going to continue to be annoying. Going for annoying probe of the year award.
I'm sorry, but that has already been won.
That was taken on Ohana, man.
Yeah. That was taken on Ohana, indeed. That was the most annoying probe ever.
Nice. See, this one, he's still got some work to do.
Yeah. You have to improve. If you wanna win the title, then
yeah, we are already halfway through the year, and so far it looks like there is a clear favorite. MC's probe going for a quick second, though, for sure. Getting into Rhett's main base, I saw that. Well, he is gonna... He's even going to continue this with his probe. That's actually just too much. That's just too much. Go home, probe.
A for effort.
Go home, probe. But anyway, probe is just like, he's like, maybe he pulls the drone. He doesn't even pull the drone away. He's like, all right. And in the chat, he was complaining about force fields, but I think, I mean, these two know each other. There's not as much at stake anymore, I would say, as it's no longer a pride of being part of the original StarCraft 2 player group versus the newer one that's, you know, stayed with StarCraft 1 much longer. It's just kind of about, it's just about a friendly match at this point, and of course only one name will be revealed. I did get confirmation from like 100 people that Ace did reveal, and it was on an interview that MC even mentioned it, and it was on This Is Game, so the question has been answered.
Have you seen the game recently that Nurture played, I think, against Creator, where Creator went for the block at the natural, and Nurture didn't have a single unit in his main base and was still able to defend? Have you seen this?
No.
I think it just, I think it was one, yeah, it was actually the tournament that I just casted, like, at the weekend. It was brilliant, and it made me think about, okay, if he's able to do this, it was basically because of the amount of gateways that Creator had behind it. And in the end, Creator won the game. But it showed that even if if your opponent does not have a really high gateway count, and even if he gets this one force field at the ramp and is able to force field over and over and over again, if you play it right, then you can still defend against it. And this, to me, it kind of started this whole discussion in my head. There were these two voices arguing. Force fields are imbalanced. The other voice was, no, that's your Zerg mind that's speaking. Force fields are okay. And I don't know.
I think force fields are fine. No doubt in my mind. No doubt. But I don't know, if with force fields and oracles, I don't know, that might be too much. We've got invisible units at a wall with force fields. That's a bit crazy. We see a layer going down, but this time in a much less lifelike timing.
Yeah, 720 this time. And that still might be By the way, we didn't really talk about it, but the one pylon already to the left side of the map,
Yes.
just in case. Just in case there is once again an Overlord and there's going to be some kind of Nidus pressure.
I think that we are going to see an Immortal timing here. He is getting +1 very quickly and starts armor right away, but he's not actually trying to put pressure on the... Oh! I kind of wish he showed a pylon there and then canceled it, because that would have been pretty cool, but... Now the Zerglings are going to go over there and check for it anyways. He's hitting the 4 gateway timing perfectly, but he's just not going to use it. It's like, I say perfectly, but it's a little bit slow, because he did get the Robo up. But look, 2 additional gateways going up. He's got the second Immortal. I think he's going to make a Warp Prism after that. The Sentry count right now, already about to hit 3. He's going to use his first round of Warp-Ins for Sentries, and he's got 300 gas for that. He's going to go boom, 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 3 more Sentries, and he's going to start the Warp Prism. It's starting to seem pretty clear. 1, 2, oh, supply blocked. Could have gotten 3.
1, 2, nah, failed.
You must construct additional pylons. He's sitting there going, well, I can still make this work.
Facepalm.
Starts 3 pylons. He's like,
Won't happen again.
He's like eating some Cheetos right now. He's like, He's like, this all-in just got a little bit more difficult.
But the thing is, we don't have any kind of follow-up for our Zerg in terms of tech, so well, that was basically the wrong word. I'm not really looking for follow-up, but he doesn't have anything that will help him to defend against this. We don't have this, the style where you go for Infestors, for the Fungals. We don't have any kind of, let's say, drop abilities that they can drop behind the force fields.
Not even Burrow.
TSL Zergs like to lob. Burrow is another option, what you can execute if your opponent does not have an Observer with this army. So he's just relying on the sheer amount of units and on speed for Lings and Roaches to set up flanks, and the flank is already to the top left.
Yeah, and by the way, he didn't bring a Warp Prism because even though the Lings went to look for that probe, they did not find it. So he actually has a forward pylon, so he has an extra Immortal here. He's got 3 Immortals. And good force fields actually denying the Zerling surface area, and look at how much damage the Immortals are doing, even though one will get picked off.
And there is the Warp
There it is, in fact. I'm totally wrong.
No, you were not wrong. You were only a little bit... he pulled it a little bit late.
Okay.
And, he had the Warp Prism a little bit later than usual because he went for 3 Immortals instead of 2.
Alright, so I guess I was just only halfway wrong. But he did go with the Warp Prism. I am mistaken. But it was late since he had that forward pylon. The flank setup, though, from our Zerg are just really... They're quite nice. This is going to be very difficult for our Mystery Ace... I mean, I don't know why I just said Ace, but Mystery Startail player.
Well, it's definitely not Ace.
It's not Ace, that's for sure. It's like the last person it could be, but
he likes proxy in Nexus.
yeah, he does.
And he's been thrown back here. Look at the supply. This is 160 to
Look
88.
at the force fields, by the way. Even though this attack is essentially over, there is not a single hex overlapping on those force fields. Oh my god.
Whoever that is, he took lessons from Seed.
Yeah.
He's like, Seed, how much are you now? And I'm talking about Stalker.
There's a Seed transfer to Startail becomes first known on ready action. Twilight Council going up at home, but that warping and building is the symbol of a lack of transition. It is the symbol of desperation for our Protoss, who will now struggle to hold this attack and will not be able to get the third base up. He is going to use this Warp Prism to try to draw these units back home, but he's spotted.
Yeah, indeed. He kind of attacked a little bit with the Warp Prism. I don't think there are any units in the vicinity, though.
Yeah, he sent the Roaches
That's
back.
nothing.
They're not going to be there in time, though.
And he does not really open.
He's gonna warp in these 2. The Roaches get back. He's just gonna pick them up. No problem.
There's no third for the Protoss player. That's something that the Zerg just made sure with the small force that walked over to the third base. And this is bad news. With a harvest count of 68 to 45, 3 bases against 2. The tech starting for the Zerg. Well, not really starting, but he's on +2 attack, or +2 attack is on its way. At the same time, by the way, when the Protoss player starts his attack upgrade.
Yeah, even upgrades. Of course, the Chrono Boost should pass, but he's getting +1 for his Lings as well. But the most important upgrade I think that we're seeing right now is Pathogen Glands, because the Infestors are coming out. Blink is on the way at pretty much even timing with that. But with no third base, he's not going to be able to make... He's not going to be able to make a Nexus, continuous Stalker production to deal with the Roaches, and get Colossi all at once. That's just not something he's going to be able to comfortably do.
The Zerg is in a very comfortable position that he can take a 4th, which he does. He can take the 5th base if he wants to. What he can not really do is attack.
That's true, and I like this. He's actually going to force a cancel here, potentially.
Yes.
Yeah. And it will save 3 of the Zealots. Nicely done.
If you are the Zerg, what you really want to do in this position is you want to spread your creep, you want to start your tech, you want to spread the Overlord so that you spot the Warp Prism early on. Attacking into the third of your opponent would be a mistake. With all the unit that he has, he can force field you, he has a huge amount of Immortals, he has 4 of them, so with a pure Roach army, this is basically not breakable. You can start to trade, but you will always trade poorly, and at some point the Protoss player will have the third base up, and you can just die. If he moves onto the map though, that's a different story, because with the Infestors that you have, you can start Fungals, you can use Infested Terrans, so this is something where you have to be able to defend. But what you really want to do is start your whole tech, and there's the 5th base already, so he does exactly this. The lack of Overlords that is scouting, especially at the main base, is a little bit, well, I don't know.
It's less than ideal, that's for sure.
Yeah, he should have at least a few Overlords here, and there's no air units, he knows it, so why not spread the Overlords a little bit so that he spots the Warp Prism a bit.
Yeah, there are 2 Spines in play, though, that will shut down that Harass. The problem, though, is this hatchery in the middle is actually a little bit vulnerable. Look at those Force Fields, quite nice again. Not as good as they were before, but this army is in an awkward position now. The Protoss army can engage quite well here. And he saves the hatchery for now. The Burrow movement coming into play, but that is a lot of Immortals, a lot of Protoss units.
Indeed it is. The Infestor starting to get a little bit closer here, though. He doesn't fungal as well, and he does not retreat with them. Now he starts to save them, but here's the blink, and he picks them off. And our Zerg now with a huge amount of reinforcements. He's going to lose the 4th here, but the 5th at the top left is done. He needs to, as said before, the flank was just not the best, and the amount of Infestor that he has was good, but not strong enough to make sure that this attack has been shut down. Now he moves in again, and how many Force Fields do we have left? A few, but is it going to be enough? A nice blink with half of the army, picking off the Immortal, and now the Infestor, but the Immortals are being picked off as well by the Roaches. But look at how the supply is suddenly just shooting down for the Zerg player.
Yeah, he is in a tough position now, and not only did that blink allow him to pick off the Infestors, but he set up a Stalker surround. And look at this, the Warp Prism that has been here since the beginning is now actually in the perfect position to end this game, and we may actually see one of the craziest comebacks ever from taking an early attack that was not very successful into actually just following things up on 3 bases where he's mining only minerals right now. GG!
The 3rd base was something that he never used. He just built the 3rd, but he never used it, and he never built additional harvesters. He was on 45, now he's on 47, so that was actually a really nice idea. That was a pretty good fake.
Yeah, it was actually. I liked the follow up because he knew that to play against this Zerg in the late game with that 3rd base that was so late was not something that he could really do. He just got the Nexus there, had a few probes mining, like 5 of them there, giving him a little bit better saturation because his main was getting mined out. But the attack, the way he executed it was perfect, and I feel like the Zerg was not as careful as he could have been in this game.
It wasn't a Nexus cancel, but with the economy that he didn't have to cancel, and he could attack, and then you have still the 3 bases to fall back onto if you need to. But how he pushed out, and the tech was not ready for the Zerg, so really well done. And a very, very quick 2-0.
Yeah, very quick 2-0. We're going to put our results up on screen for you guys so you can refresh your memory.
I actually like that the Protoss player won here. You know why? We know that Life was the Zerg, but we need to know who the Protoss was.
Yeah, that is a very good point. I'm going to try to find out later. Maybe Life will tweet about it, even though he's not supposed to. Tell everybody.
I don't even know if Life has a Twitter. I mean, now that he's a StarTale player, he will have one. It's going to be StarTale under their Life.
I'm going to try to find out.
That's going to be his new Twitter. All the StarTale Twitters are actually exactly the same, which is pretty cool. So if you want to follow a StarTale player on Twitter, just check out StarTale_ and then his nickname. Squirtle has actually the best Twitter avatar ever.
What is it?
You have to look at it.
Oh, I saw this. Yes, actually, I saw your tweet about it, and then I looked at it.
It is brilliant.
By the way, Life's Twitter is StarTale_Life in similar fashion. Yeah.
Told you. Okay, so the player reveal.
It's time for the reveal of the player. Our GSL Pros, who won all of his matches today. He is Squirtle.
Ha!
Well,
the guy with the best Twitter avatar ever.
I thought, yep, it's a pretty good avatar. And I thought that it was probably going to be Squirtle once it was revealed as StarTale because his playstyle really suited Squirtles more than it suited even Aces or Parting. It just didn't seem very Parting the way he was playing, how aggressive he was.
He had only 2 observers in the first game. It couldn't be Parting.
No, exactly. No Storm either. skipping it. So it seemed like it was going to be Squirtle, and well, there you have it. Our GSL runner-up player is able to take out a Kespa player and then his teammate. So
You're still dodging. You're not calling me live.
well, we don't know.
We do. I do. But next week, and
After we're going to take a look at, well, I don't know what we're about to take a look at. Something that's happening next. Oh, next week's match is actually going to be after Code A, which I didn't know until just now either.
yeah, exactly, because we are going to cast them after Code 8.
I'm actually
I'm like, what?
we're going to be doing a double day of Code A and then casting this, so we're going to be at the studio all day, all night. Okay. All right, so hold
Okay.
your horses. All right,
Yeah.
we're just getting a bunch of different updates at once. It's going to be pre-recorded, so then it will be after Code A,
Yeah.
but you guys will not see it live. So I guess that's actually
We're getting all these new informations. We have to talk
Yeah.
later.
yeah, we do.
I didn't understand half of them.
But I'm sure everything will be made clear on GOMTV's page at gomtv.net.
The problem is I don't know next week's schedule by heart, so I have to look at it later.
Yeah,
And don't try to explain to me it right now because we'll probably get it wrong, and then you'll be like,
Yeah, I'm not even.
Wolf style.
Not right now. I'm not doing it. I'm not even going to get started on this right now.
I only know this week. All right.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you go and follow GOMTV on Twitter. And go to, if you want to watch the VODs, or tell your friends, because if you're watching right now, you're probably not going to watch VODs because you're watching live, but tell your friends who are asking for them to go to GOMTV's YouTube page, which is youtube.com/GOMTVnet. No additional dot in there. And if you want to go on Facebook and like GOMTV there, go to Global GOMTV. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow Caldor at Caldor. You can follow myself at ProxyWolf. And if you want to look up these players' Twitters, all the StarTale players, we only know one of them for sure is going to be StarTale Squirtle. But if you want to find other player Twitters, make sure you go to TeamLiquid.net. There's a ton of information on Liquipedia. Everyone's Twitter is listed there if you look up their specific page. So highly recommend doing that. A lot of people are always asking, where can I find the players' Twitters? What's the players' Twitter? There's so many of them, it's impossible to memorize them all. But if you want to find them for sure, that's a good place to start.
Exactly. Or, well, in the case of StarTale, it's pretty easy to find
Yes.
out because they all have the same IDs, which is pretty handy to know. So StarTale_ and then the player's nickname.
Yep, well, that wraps it up for us. So we will see you guys at Code A tomorrow. And we've got GSTL, the semifinals this weekend, so a lot of great StarCraft action, not to mention Code S.
And by the way, tomorrow we will start with the first group early again. So one of the things that you should definitely keep in mind is not only the the evening session where we start at 6, but we will start at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
Okay.
1 o'clock. Yeah, tomorrow, 1 o'clock, I think.
Okay, 1:10. I'm getting all confused here with the...
Yeah, it's going to be 1:10 tomorrow. Okay. GSTL 2:10. All right, Code A 1:10.
Yeah, I know.
Off the record, that was at 1:10. Or no, that was at 1:10, I think, yeah. That was at 1:10, yeah. Yeah, 1:10. all right.
No, you already screwed up, sorry.
I don't know, man. I have calendars for these things. My brain's not a calendar, man. I have smartphones and tablets and...
Guys, we'll keep this short. I don't want us to be embarrassed anymore. All right, guys, so we see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bring it down.
Wanna play?
I will do what must be done. Go to the next level.